In this video, we discuss a new category here on the channel, the average retirement income by age for retirees. This data comes from the 2022 US Census Bureau, so it is quite accurate. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
When we retire, the race is generally over. For some, we ran hard and the retirement income is a byproduct of the hard work. For others, we took it a little easier but invested wisely. And still some are running the race even into retirement, and that's okay too. In this video, we discuss average retirement income by age category, age 65 to 74 and age 75 plus. The distinction is the retirees' energy level and their activity level more than anything else. That's why we broke it into these two categories. And frankly, the values don't change much within retirement, meaning a 65-year-old's retirement income and a 68-year-old's retirement income don't vary wildly from one another. We'll also discuss the data for those that are single and those that are at the household level. Why are we doing this? Because I wouldn't want someone who's single to look at the household numbers and think that they're way off the mark, simply because they're the only income earner in their house. And finally, just for completeness, I will quickly break down the sources of the income, the big three being Social Security, pensions and 401ks, and part-time work. The source for all this data, by the way, either comes from the 2022 US Census Bureau or the Retirement Learning Center. I will put a link to both in the description below. Let's start off with a basic understanding of where retirees typically receive their cash flow, their income. It comes from Social Security, from pensions, 401ks, and IRAs, and from part-time work. These three aren't all inclusive, by the way, because retirees often get income from things like the rental stream from rental property, or from their annuity, from an inheritance, or some other source. And I'll also point out that even though there are three typical sources of income in retirement, Social Security, pensions, 401ks, and IRAs, and part-time work, most people only have one or two of these. They don't typically have all three. So when you see the information, these are just averages. And other than mentioning now for completeness, we're not going to discuss esoteric investments that generate cash flow, like tax lien certificates, oil and gas partnerships, master limited trusts, or rare coin collections or rare art collections. The reason, by the way, is that there's a very good chance that you watching this video right now don't know anyone that invests in any of those categories. And by putting that out there right now, I'm deflating the balloon on these because I don't want you to think that you're different than others that have access to these rare investments, because they are very rare indeed. I'm going to give you two sets of information, the mean and the median. It's important to know the distinction. The mean means the average. If you add up the income from all of the respondents and you divide that big number by the number of respondents. The median means the number of the person or the household that is right in the middle. And there is a huge distinction between the two. Why? Because the top 1% of the people in this country own 2/3 of the wealth. Now, this isn't a judgment in any way. In fact, several of you, many of you watching this video, in fact, will be in that top 1% category. And my guess is that most of you worked your way from nothing to get to that point. But for those of you that aren't in the top 1%, if we include the top 1% and only include the top 1%, your number, even if you are in the middle, will look too low. That's why we have the median. So where do retirees source their income? According to the Retirement Learning Center, 36% of income comes from traditional retirement vehicles like a pension, a 401k, or an IRA. 30% comes from Social Security, and 25% comes from part-time work. That totals 91%. The balance, the 9% balance of that 9%, 7% comes from other assets, and 2% comes from those special situations that we discussed earlier. Also, many of you will be completely out of the workforce when you retire, which means you won't have a part-time job. This also means that you will have a higher percentage of your overall income coming from Social Security and your traditional pension income, like your pension, your 401k, or your IRA. All right, let's start off with the mean of the single category. Remember, mean includes the top 1%. That category, if you're single, age 65 to 74 on average, the retirement income is $51,730. For those 75 and older, the mean income is $40,506, quite a bit less. What's going on here? Well, for one thing, those that are 75 and older are far likely to have a part-time job than those that are 65 to 74. Also, retirees are generally less active at 75 plus than they are 65 to 74, which simply means that they spend less, they draw less from their retirement assets. You'll see this drop at 75 plus again in all categories ahead. All right, let's talk about the median category. In the 65 to 74 category, the median income for those that are single is $30,586. And the median 75 and older is $24,367. Now, many retirees aren't single and living on their own. They live in a household where more than one income is coming in. In the definition of household, we're talking about two incomes or more, but typically two when you're talking about retirees because we're talking about partners, life partners usually. The same phenomenon exists here as it does in the single category, by the way, which means that the mean includes the top 1%, and that's going to skew the average. The median is the number that most people really care about. The mean household level is $109,695. You'll recall that the mean single level is $51,730. So it is more than double the single level. This seems high, particularly in a demographic where the husband and wife might not both have worked full time and one may have stayed home to raise the kids, at least part of the time. But yet the average Social Security, pension income, 401k, pensions, and IRA, and part-time work income is more than double. How could that be? There are two good reasons for this, and we'll discuss that in just a moment, but we need the complete data. So let's look at the mean income for the households that are 75 plus. That number is $87,313. This is squarely almost 8% higher than the mean income of $40,506 for singles. What about the median household income for those 65 to 74? That number is $76,629, so a full 25% than the single number. And the median income for households 75 plus, $61,963, 26% higher than the median single number. So what's the mystery? Why does a retirement household have more than double the single retiree number? The biggest reason is that not all retirement households have only two incomes. Some have more than two. The children might move back home. The adult children might move back home. Or the retirees are taking care of their aging parents. Also, those that are married tend to own a home more frequently than those who are single. When you sell your home and downsize in retirement and invest the difference, that tends to add to the cash flow. If you like this video, check out that video, the average net worth by age 62. Also, don't forget to subscribe. This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.